Yeah.
Um, Working with the people I was working with, it was like a dream come true. I was a big fan of everybody I worked with for a long time. So, I was young back then, so everything was new, everything was dope. And that's it, besides when I was working with Master Ace, that was in a group. It was fun then as well.
Yeah,
Not
definitely. Well, I'm glad you brought up Master Race because that was definitely something I wanted to bring up too. While talking and stuff, because like you have such a cool like journey with your music, like people from who you work with and everything, and even the material you put out is awesome. Like I'm not gonna lie, like Extra Extra is probably like one of my top songs. Your
Thank
delivery on that song gets me amped every time.
you.
And that's why I like doing these lives because these lives a lot of artists come in and out, and then a lot of artists visits the page, and like you're doing things that like a lot of artists like myself like that's our goal to do. So it's cool to see like what the experience is like and what the creative process, and that's why we do a lot of these lives and everything like that because it's like motivation to other artists. So, I definitely salute you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So now, when you were putting this project together and stuff, like, you said like I know you said it was fun. Like, what would you say is the difference between then and now? Like, what gave it that spark that you think it's not today?
Um, the unity. Everybody coming together, everybody having fun with it, everybody building. Right now is a lot of competition going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's happening in reality as well as in hip hop, everything is coinciding together. And that's the difference of it all.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Now, do you feel like, especially from the album getting pushed now, and like you said with the transitions and stuff like that, especially with like social media being a huge thing and all these new platforms of like even
Right.
being able to release independently, isn't
Yeah.
it? Is it like a really major transition you feel like?
It is because it's a lot more easier now for people to put their music out there and showcase it to a lot of people, to the masses, without even paying money. You
Yeah.
know, back then we didn't have internet really. you know.
No, no, of course not. No, no, I understand. No, that's what I mean. Like it was such a different thing. So when you was when you were on your when you were even on the come up and everything like that, what would you say was like one of the biggest like since social media wasn't around, what was the biggest thing that helped the most back then?
Radio.
That was it,
Radio,
right?
especially on underground radio, when you couldn't pay for the mainstream. Underground was always there. And getting a relationship with these DJs now is like everybody want money and stuff to play your stuff, even online on their platforms. But
Yeah.
back then it was more love, and people were supporting one another more. You
Yeah.
know,
So
and
the
that,
market so the marketing aspect was totally different then.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I started getting into music. I want to say like I listened to music my whole life, but I mean as far as like the behind the scenes, like the engineering and stuff like that. Like I started learning about it back in like '04, '05. So even from then to now, the difference and the transition of like how people can market themselves, like seeing the transition from like MySpace going to Facebook, and then now you have all these different platforms and all these different apps. It's definitely
A
I'm
good
still even
thing.
trying to like learn a lot of them. There's hundreds of millions of them these days.
I know.
It's crazy, because I remember even like when I was coming up, my teacher he did a lot of like industry work as well. So like he would tell us stories, and now like that's when social media was just starting with the MySpace and everything, and it was throwing him off. Like, he wasn't used to it. It was so like the transition I totally get.